Every now and then you're like, I'm sick of having a beard and having a nice looking face.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hi, I'm Alan,
And I'm Russell,
and this is Popculture Pontification,
the show where we talk about new release PC first-person shooters.
and nothing but.
Nothing but.
That's the whole thing. It
Yeah.
becomes a real stretch in like the summer months when nothing's getting released. I suppose there'd always be like a first-person shooter indie game.
Probably,
coming
yeah.
out.
But I don't play those.
You don't play those?
No.
Well, you hate indie games.
I don't
Of
hate
all
indie games.
types and varieties.
I like indie games.
Like, name 3 indie games that you like.
No, that's too much work.
That's 3. Traditionally, it's like name 5.
What's that one with the sword fighting?
That's very helpful. Yes.
Nidhogg. I like Nidhogg.
Okay.
I like Rocket League.
Rocket League's not a first-person shooter.
No, neither is Nidhogg.
Well, I just said... You said... Oh, no, I said indie games. I wouldn't
Yeah.
classify Rocket League as an indie game.
Okay, well, now we're going to get into a semantic debate. Let's move on.
Fair enough. That could have been an interesting little back and forth we did there. That's fine.
No, I think it was
We've
going
moved
to
on
be
at this point.
a disaster and everyone would have turned off.
Anyway, so we're still relying primarily on you to have things to talk about because my internet connection is still extraordinarily spotty, which
Well-
is becoming... This is a real sore point in this podcast, I feel, is my lack of internet connection.
You were telling me that you had a few things to talk about.
I do have a few things to talk about,
You
but I
managed
feel like...
to download a 45 gigabyte file.
It's true, yeah. No, I suppose I should say that I moved on from my little pointless dongles of like $50 for 7 gigs of data or whatever.
Yeah.
And ignored everybody's advice. And
Yeah.
I've gotten Vivid Wireless,
Ah.
which has nothing but negative reviews, like
Yeah.
across the board, as terrible, terrible service and terrible, terrible data speeds and connections and spotty connections and all that sort of nonsense. And it's like, oh, you got to pay like $100 for the thing to connect to it, the home base and all that sort of stuff. Fortunately, my girlfriend's sister
Yeah.
had won a dongle at some sort of pub quiz or some competition
Okay.
or whatever. And she has no use for it. She was like, fucking, here you go, have it. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I wonder what their rates are. And it was like $90 for a month of unlimited data. So I was like, that is way better than what I've currently got.
Yeah.
So I've got that. And the connection does go up and down and sort of in and out. Like, I wouldn't bother trying to play like a online MMO or an FPS.
Like Overwatch.
Like Overwatch, for example. That would be an exercise in futility.
Yeah.
You know? But for like downloading stuff and like streaming stuff, like every now and then it'll be like, what is YouTube? How do I stream? How do I buffer this information? No, thank you.
Yeah.
20 bits a second for you. It's very rare. And
Did you accidentally throttle your YouTube?
No, I didn't. No, unfortunately. That was not the case this time.
I see.
But yeah, so I do have it, and I'm playing catch up at the moment. Like, because there's so much stuff I missed from like the month and a half where I didn't have access to the internet really.
Do you have your regular like TV shows?
Not
by week?
really. I'm much more of a wait until they're done and
Yeah.
then sort of binge watch them all at once
Me too.
sort of guy.
Except for Game of Thrones, which we can't talk about.
You can talk about it all you want. I just won't know what the fuck you're
Well,
going
yeah,
on
you
about.
won't. You won't be able
Because
to
I don't really watch it.
hold up your end of the conversation.
If you want to talk about the first season of Game of Thrones, we can talk about that till the cows come home, because I watched that when it came out.
I can't even remember most of that. Actually, there was... Did you get to the end of that season?
I can't remember the last thing I saw, but I think I watched some of season 2. But I definitely know that Sean Bean got his head chopped off.
Yes. Well, that event and certain other events from season 1 were sort of brought back in the latest episode.
Ooh.
When one of the characters went to see a like comedy play that
Oh,
was
okay.
based on the events of the first season.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems a bit odd.
It was pretty funny. And they got some actors like Richard E. Grant. I don't know if you know him.
I don't know.
And the guy off of Big Train, the comedy sketch show. No.
No, not ringing a bell.
Anyway, I recognised a few of the actors that they had in there, and they were like
Okay.
just cameos.
I'd love it if they got like like all British comedians to come in and do it.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing. Like, I never forget it. I never remember his name. The ginger guy from, like, Shaun of the Dead and stuff.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Just like Simon Pegg and his mate, who I also can never remember the name of. Nick Frost. How can you forget such an awesome name such as Nick Frost? It's a great name.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg and
like
Nick Frost.
PI or something.
And, like, all those, like, old school British comedian guys to just come in and lampoon the entire show. I think that would be very good. Having said that, it actually sounds like that lampoons something that happens in, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Where they go and see
the play about Avatar:
Yeah.
The Last Airbender.
Yeah, also a very good episode.
Also a very good episode, very humorous.
Although one difference between the Game of Thrones one and the Avatar one is immediately after this scene, smash cut to a close-up of a penis.
That's like the adults only version of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that is in the director's cut.
Was it like, I've always thought that like the nudity and sex and all that sort of stuff in Games of Thrones has never been like put in there for gratuity's sake.
Oh, it absolutely has.
Has it?
Yeah.
I think it was like...
There are scenes where, like, one of the main characters one of his jobs is a brothel owner. Mm-hmm. And the showrunners will use that to great effect, whereas he will just be, like, explaining some element of the plot, and there'll just be people having sex in the background of the shot.
But that's appropriate for the setting, I guess. It's never just, like...
could easily take place in a pub or...
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's never just, like... just naked woman in the background. Like, they're just talking in a pub and someone's walking by with their tits out or something.
Well,
or like...
I still think it's gratuitous.
Okay, well, it's because you're a prude, Russell.
Oh, clearly.
But, you know, I think it's obviously medieval times, like, they didn't have the sort of hang-ups that we do now about all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so to them, it'd be like, oh, fucking, it's a dick, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, we all bathe in public bathhouses. You know, we see dicks all the time.
This scene was a bit of a... Whoa, slow down there, buddy.
You just like... But if it was just like a vagina, you'd be like, all right.
No, the way it was just like, you know, cut from like a wide shot to BAM! Dick in your face.
What do you mean? Was it just some dude's flopper dick just dangling around? Or was it like... Did it pan away from the dick to something important? Or was it just like, haha, my penis?
It was like backstage after the play.
Oh, but come on, you can't go on about like that.
He was checking his dick for warts.
Was he really?
Yeah.
That's a real concern back in those days.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying, maybe the problem is with you and not with
it's definitely with me. So it's Game of Thrones. I'm glad we finally got to talk about it a bit.
Fine. Oh, people have been asking.
There's only the most minor of spoilers. This episode, there were major spoilers.
There's got to be Game of Thrones podcasts out there. Mm-hmm. I'd be gobsmacked if there wasn't. How do they deal with all that sort of stuff? Is it just like if you haven't seen... They'd obviously do like an episode per episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
A podcast per episode. But you'd just be like... Would you even bother mentioning that there are going to be spoilers in like a podcast like that? Surely you wouldn't.
No, I feel like... You know what you're getting into there. Yeah. They might say at the start, we're going to talk about this episode in detail. Yeah. Don't listen if you don't want to know what happens. If this is just
automatically downloaded and it's all getting played on like a continuous list of new episodes or whatever, heads up. This is like spoiler town.
Yeah. I don't think you'd have to make a big deal about it if that was the focus of your whole show there.
People get so ridiculously upset about Game of Thrones spoilers specifically.
Yeah, I feel like people overreact. Somewhat.
But if you spoil a movie, people are just like, nah, stupid internet, they'll do that. Mm. But if you spoil like Game of Thrones, it's like, I will burn you at the stake.
Well, I suppose it's like, because people are watching it on TV as it comes out, or through other channels shortly after that, like if it gets spoiled within an hour or whatever of the show,
it's still like a dickish thing to do. Yeah. But I feel like people treat it harsher than like...
Other kinds of spoilers.
Yeah, like the day after Star Wars or whatever came out, people would have been like, "Oh, Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son," and so on and so forth.
You're gonna have to edit in a spoiler one.
No, that's fine. Fuck it. It's been out. That's been out for like fucking 6 months.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Force Awakens, you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Yeah, it's on DVD and Blu-ray at this point. It's fine.
I have to get it.
Do you not know it's out? Heads up, it's been released on DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, it was like, and people would just be like, would have been angry about somebody spoiling Star Wars, but not to the level of people spoiling like the minorest of things of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it has a certain quality all its own that makes people very sensitive about spoilers.
I think it's become too big for its own britches, in my opinion.
One thing that might be a factor is that the show is now beyond the point where the books are up to.
That's true. I think a lot of people are happy about that, actually, because people who read the books have always had like this bragging point. They're like, oh, really? Has so-and-so died? How pedestrian.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad because like major events like the Red Wedding and things like that, when they were coming up, like I was like chuckling behind my hand to all my friends who hadn't read the books. But now we're in like uncharted territory, so I don't know what's coming up.
But even then, the books and the show were so disparate, you know, or however that word pronounced. Like stuff happened in the books that never happened in the TV show, and stuff happened in the TV show that either never happened in the books or was so far chronologically out of whack that I don't know how people didn't get extraordinarily upset about it.
Well, some people do. Like.
It's just a real hot mix.
Yeah, they were close enough that, you know, the major plot points, they hit all of those. All the same ones.
I feel like if they'd filmed it like the books verbatim, then...
there'd be like big, boring bits.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time, you also wouldn't be so far ahead. Like, I feel there was more in the books that got put into the TV show.
Well, they make a season a year. A season's like 10 episodes. And the books take like 6 years each to write. I assume because...
Each book has a time span of about 6 years.
No, like the writing process.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because George R. R. Martin is extremely lazy, I have to assume. Because Brandon Sanderson's cranking out like 5 books a week.
I feel like that's just a different thing, though. Like, different authors crank out books at different speeds.
Yeah.
Like, some people are just voracious writers.
Yeah.
Like, you look back on, like, R.L. Stein back in the day. He used to pump out a book a week.
Was he really a guy, or was he a pseudonym, like Franklin W. Dixon?
He was, like, a legit guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Used to pump out, like, a book a week. And sure, they were mostly, like, fucking trash. You know.
Whoa. Slow down, man. Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. That was a classic.
My favourite was The Beast from the East. That's the only book that ever scared me of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was a bit afraid of scarecrows after that one.
Alright, fair enough. I'm not saying I read all of them. Anyway.
Are you familiar with the Hardy Boys?
They sound familiar, yeah.
Yeah, well, they were like boy detectives. And there was this very long-running series of novels about them. And the author was always Franklin W. Dixon, which you assumed was the author of all the books. But no, there was like hundreds of authors ghostwriting under this one.
Was there that many books, though? Was it like...
There was over 100 of them.
Fair enough.
So if it was a guy, he was very busy.
Yeah,
but as a kid, you didn't really think about that. You just thought he was the creator of the Hardy Boys.
I suppose they'd all have to follow the same sort of writing style to, like, sort of meet the criteria.
Yeah, they're all basically the same book.
But yeah, you get people like Brandon Sanderson and R.L. Stein, who I guess do just nothing but write. You know, or they're just like, they just can pump them out real quick. And they're all pretty good. Like, Brandon Sanderson has written some books that aren't his best. And R.L. Stein has written a lot of books that are just fucking not that good.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if, you know how like the 90s is like back now? There's all this nostalgia like for
20 years ago.
90s stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean, I thought you meant back as in back in time. I was like, yeah, it was a while ago.
No. Like, you see, you know, nightclubs hosting parties with, the hosts of Cheese TV. And it's like, they're just old men now.
Don't you mock Cheese TV, man.
But I wonder if R.L. Stein has got like a, you know, going around to all the conventions and stuff.
He's got to have been, because they did the Goosebumps, the movie.
Yeah.
And he was in that.
Well, no, he wasn't in it. It was Jack Black.
No, he was in it. Not as himself, yeah.
He was cameoing as like a strip club DJ or something.
No, like right at the end, Jack Black starts teaching English
Yeah.
at a school. I don't care about spoiling this movie.
Spoilers for the Goosebumps movie.
Like Jack Black as R.L. Stein starts...
Did you see this movie?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Not in the cinemas. Starts teaching English at the local school of like the town in which the whole movie is set in. And then like right at the end, as he's in the school, because it's like the last thing in the movie, like R.L. Stein walks by in the background and he goes like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Stein." And then Jack Black goes, "Oh, hello, Mr. Black." And then he leans over to the protagonist who's like, "Music teacher." So like it's a real like Jack Black is the music teacher.
Yeah.
And it's a real...
Yeah, it makes sense.
I just thought it was a real clever moment that they inserted into it. Anyway, but yeah, he's in that, and Goosebumps itself is, even now, incredibly popular and nostalgic. Kids still read them. You know, I don't think he pumps them out with the same sort of ferocity as he used to, but...
He must be pretty rich.
He'd have to be. Unless he got like a real bad contract, got locked into like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You will get $1 per book you release. All right, well, enough of talking about all that. We're going to move on to something a little more, centralized about what we talk about.
Yeah.
Is that you mentioned before that I managed to download a 45 gigabyte game.
Yeah.
File, I believe you said. It was a game, and it took me like 3 days, and it was Doom. And I downloaded Doom, and I've been playing Doom. Like, a lot. Like, at any point where I should have been doing something else, I've been playing Doom.
I guess that's, it kind of ties into the 90s nostalgia.
It does, yeah, so that works out.
Yeah.
That works out quite well. And you made a special request when you came over this evening.
I did. I wanted to have a go.
You wanted to have a go, yeah. Which is not something you ever really do. I mean...
What do you mean?
I'll have access to games that you haven't bought and stuff like that. And it's very rare for you to come over and go like, "Can I have a go?"
Yeah.
But you did with Doom, and you sat down and you played it. And I micromanaged you a little bit to start off with, because I knew you weren't going to be playing it for like ages to get...
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't get to know all the nuances of it.
Yeah.
So I gave you a couple of pointers, and I hope that helped. And it's a lot of fun. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's very different to sort of modern first-person shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield and things like that.
I feel like there are similarities. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if this is the ideal way to play, but I had a short-range shotgun as my primary weapon, and so my main strategy was to rush at demons and shoot them in the face with a shotgun and then, like, snap their necks. Whereas in Call of Duty or, Gears of War or things like that, generally you want to hide behind a little box at the other end of the room and then pop out to shoot them.
Like, you get these loading tips that sort of pop up when it's, like, loading, and it'll be like, this place is designed from 2095 architect so-and-so. But every now and then it'll come up and it'll show, like, an actual game tip. And it'll be, like... One of the things that pops up fairly regularly is like standing still equals death.
Right.
This game is not really designed for you to sort of like stand still and just like snipe and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the bad guys would charge up this big like ball of doom, and when it hit you, it would take off like 2/3 of your health.
It's true. Yeah, you got to keep mobile in the game. Later on, you do get sort of like a scope for like a heavy machine gun.
Right.
That allows you to ping people from a fair distance away.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not worth... Like, anytime any demon or whatever sees you, it alerts all the rest of them. And they start teleporting to you and start, like, fucking your shit up. And I think that's, like, a really interesting mechanic, is the whole, like, Zerg rush that you get done.
Yeah, it makes it, like, chaotic.
It is, yeah. Which is sort of like the old Doom style was. Because you'd see one guy and you'd shoot him, and then you're like, oh shit, there's like 5 guys behind him. And you'd just be constantly backing away, shooting them with like the shotgun.
Fireballs and shit at me.
Yeah. But yeah, they all teleport. Almost all of them teleport.
Oh, right.
Like you'll see the imps who run around after you. They'll just disappear and then reappear behind you.
Yeah.
That's not them just running around you. That's them disappearing and reappearing and stuff like that. and then they fuck you up. And you're like, so you're like standing behind waiting for everybody to come at you, and all of a sudden the guy's chewing your ass off and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not obviously as expansive as like the original Doom was, where it was just like this one enormous map, and you had to find your way all around the whole thing. You know,
I only ever played like the shareware version of Doom, so I never got past the second world or level or whatever it was. But I did know all the cheat codes.
Yeah, it's all the old Doom was very like Metroidy, where it'd be like you need the red key to get to that section, to get the green key to get over there.
Yeah,
which then allows you to get up there to where the BFG is and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and the Doom 3, I think it was, that was released a while back, was nothing like that. It was just dark.
No, it was like a survival horror.
It was like a survival horror game, yeah. And this is a real sort of callback to the old school stuff, where there's a lot of, can't get through here, you need the yellow key and stuff like that. But in the map that you played, which is just on the surface of Mars and all that sort of stuff, it's not that complicated. It's not that complex.
Yeah, I was just rushing through.
Shooting stuff.
It was always pretty obvious where to go, although I did miss all of the secrets.
You did miss all of the secrets, which is fine. But what you missed then was that what you can do is there's like this lever hidden in every section, in every level, where if you pull it, it'll open up a door. Yeah. And as soon as you go in through the door, you're in one of the old game sections.
As in from the old game?
Yeah, like old graphic styles and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the monsters and the pickups, the health items and all that sort of stuff are the new sort of skins for it. But all the walls and the mechanics and all that sort of stuff is the old school graphics formats. And it's just like a real nice... And you can then access them later outside of the game by going into like the options menu or the specials menu or something. Yeah, and you can collect these little Doom dolls. They're like these little Doom dolls. Like these little like toy bubble head sort of things.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 of them hidden in every map, and they unlock like the skins. So you can go and like it'll be like, oh, this unlocks the shotgun skin. And then you can go in and you can like you have access to like zoom in and out and look at all the shotgun art and all that sort of stuff, and it'll unlock like the imp skin. And then so you can just have the imp there, and you can like zoom around and zoom in and look at all like the 3D rendered model and stuff like that.
Okay.
It definitely rewards exploration.
Yeah, it's got like collectible kind of stuff.
Yeah. You can like you can just plow through it, just run and gun, all you like. But there's like it depends upon the level. The first level there's like 3 secrets.
Yep.
And there's like 1 sort of like weapon upgrade that you sort of have to get in the first. You can't really progress without running into this thing. Yeah, it was in like
a narrow corridor, and there was no way to get past it.
There's no way to get past it, which is it's like an introductory level. There was like 3 secrets, 1 weapon upgrade, and you got these sort of elite marines corpses that are lying around in various hidden places all over the map.
Yeah.
That you can pull out like a chip and put in your own suit, which allows you to upgrade one of your own abilities.
Right, okay.
You know, like you can use it to upgrade your radar, or upgrade your grenades and stuff like that, or your how much damage you take from like the environment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then later on, there's even more stuff. Like you have these portals, like these glowing rune things where you can go and activate them, and you complete like this little challenge map, which will be like using the shotgun, take out 20 possessed in 6 seconds.
Okay.
Every possessed you kill grants you like +2 seconds.
Ah, right.
And if you complete it, then you get this rune that you can activate, which will be like your vacuum power upgrades. And like whenever you do a special kill on an enemy, they'll drop health, or in some other scenarios, they'll drop like ammo and stuff.
Yeah.
And your suit sort of like vacuums that up depending on how close you are. But you get this rune, that range increases.
Oh, okay.
And once you upgrade it by sucking up like 300 things, then it's even more powerful.
Yeah.
You know, but then by then you've done other challenges, and you need to complete challenges to unlock how many runes you can have, and there's like hidden chests which have like this arc demon energy, so like crystal stuff that you can absorb into your suit, which increases how much health you can have, or how much armor you can have, or how much ammo you can carry.
Right.
Stuff like that. It's very expensive.
It sounds like there's a lot of upgrade
There's
systems.
a lot of faffing about. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I guess the point I'm trying to get across here is that it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun playing it.
It was certainly fun for the short bit I played it. And one of the podcasts I listened to is called The Crate and Crowbar. It's a PC gaming podcast.
One of the 450 podcasts that you listen to, yes.
Yeah. And they were raving about it. They thought it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Because you came over and you said, I want to play Doom because I've heard good things.
Yeah.
And my first instinct was like, oh, Russell listened when I was raving about it and saying good things about it. So he's like, I want to have a go.
Oh, I did hear good things from you as well.
It's just when you listen to this podcast.
Idle Thumbs as well. Big fans of it.
Yes.
Yeah. They liked that it was very dynamic combat. And you're always encouraged to keep fighting. Like, no matter what your problem is, like, oh, I don't have enough ammo or I don't have enough health. Whatever the problem may be, the answer is to go and murder some guys.
Stuff, yeah.
And one thing I noticed that was cool is when you do one of your melee executions on a guy, you get a little bit of health.
Yeah, once you've dealt enough damage to a guy, they start, if they're at a distance, they start flashing blue. Yeah. Which means that they're ready for a takedown. Yeah. And once you're in range, they change to orange, so you know they're in range. And then you do like a melee takedown where you like crush their skull or rip their head off or something. Yeah. At one point, you can like, if you're doing like the little humans that have been turned into one-eyed zombies or whatever, you can like rip the arm off and just beat them to death with their own arm and stuff like that. And
I did hear that you can force feed someone their own leg until they choke to death on it.
Yeah, something like that.
But the bit I particularly liked was when you're on very low health. Mm-hmm. Like if you were playing a modern shooter with like recharging health and stuff.
Correct. Yes.
Your best strategy would be to go and hide in a hole somewhere until your health recharges.
The red goes away. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get more health back if you're on low health.
Yes.
For killing someone. So your best strategy is to just go and find someone to kill.
And even if you have if you've got very low health. And you just shoot someone to death with a gun. You don't melee them or anything. If you're at very low health, they drop health.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So if you've got I think if you're in the red and you just shoot someone to death, they'll drop a couple of health points. Yeah, that's good. And you can pick them up as well.
Because sometimes I was annoyed because I'd be like too close and I'd shoot somebody right in the face with my shotgun.
And they'd die.
And they'd die immediately. I wouldn't get the chance to do the follow-up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then later on, there's once you get into the game proper, there's challenges where it's take out, because you get upgrades for the weapons, which I mentioned, and the first one that everyone should ever pick is the shotgun.
Yeah, grenade. It turns it into like a grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher, yeah. So it's both good at close and long distance.
Well, the other option was
three
shells instead of one. Yeah, but one kills everybody so far, so I don't need that.
Anyway, and you get challenges in game.
Yeah.
Where it'll be take out 50 imps in this level or something. Mm-hmm. I'm paraphrasing here. I can't remember exactly what it is. Take out 50 imps in one game with the shotgun.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, if you do that, you get an upgrade point. Because you get 3 different types of upgrade points. You get the ones that you find the Argent Energy, which will upgrade your personal business that you have to sort of activate as you find it. You get the suit upgrade points, which when you pull them out of the dead super marines that they had guarding this base. And then you get these weapon upgrade points that you get for all Mesa things. Yeah. You'll get them from... I'm not going to name them all. You get them from completing challenges. And if you find a certain amount of secrets, it'll upgrade some. If there's 6 secrets, it'll be 2 upgrade points. So if you find 3, you get 1 upgrade point. If you find all of them, you get 2 upgrade points. Then later on, there's this running tally of 6 dots in the top corner or whatever. And it's, if you kill, the more enemies you kill, the more that bar fills up and the more upgrade points you get.
Ah, okay.
And each level has these challenges that'll grant you upgrade points where it'll be take 3 kills from above.
Death kills.
Death kills from above. No, like a melee takedown from above.
Yeah.
Which will do like a special animation or something.
So you have to jump on their head.
You got to jump on their head and melee them and do the takedown at the same time. And that'll be like, all right, tick, you've got 1 out of 3. Or it'll be like, one of the later levels was like, do 10 spine breakers on imps, which is the takedown from behind.
Yeah.
And they teleport and jump around so much, you just gotta like sort of get them so they're flashing. Then like run over them and they like shuffle around behind them and they like do a melee from behind, which will like crack their skull open and stuff. And there's just a lot of variety there, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it certainly seems highly enjoyable.
Are you tempted to obtain a copy, Russell?
Perhaps eventually, but there's another shooter that's taking up my time.
That's filled your heart with love.
Yes. That's a familiar topic to this podcast.
Yeah, you've gone on about it a couple of times.
Yep. Overwatch is out.
Overwatch, yes.
For real.
Has it changed much from the beta?
No, it's exactly the same.
The
beta was just to shit on Battleborn.
They really have. People are comparing the two games unfairly, I feel. I feel like they're two different types of games.
There are obvious similarities, but yeah, they are quite different games.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to get onto that because I haven't played Battleborn.
I only played like an hour of it.
Yeah.
When I was in the beta.
But Overwatch is highly enjoyable.
Say what you will about whatever comparison you should or shouldn't make. It is literally shitting all over Battleborn.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Blizzard game, so you expect it to do very well.
Blizzard fanboys, yeah.
Yeah. And I've picked up some new characters since the beta. For some reason, Diva wasn't doing it for me anymore. She's the Korean chick in a mech who is an excellent marketing device for the Korean Blizzard fans. I've been playing Roadhog, who's a big fat dude who wears a gas mask and has a hook, which he uses like Scorpion or Pudge from Dota to drag people to him.
I feel like the Scorpion reference was enough for almost everybody to get the reference.
Yeah, but there might be people who are too young for Mortal Kombat, but too old.
You fucked that up.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Anyway, he's very enjoyable because his primary weapon is a double-barrel shotgun, which has an effective range of about
3 feet.
About 4 foot.
About 4 foot.
And so it's not very good unless you happen to stumble upon someone in a corridor, or unless you hit them with your hook from halfway across the screen and drag them to you, and then blast them right in the face.
Yeah.
And it's so enjoyable when there's like little snipers or whatever dancing around in the distance, plinking them at you.
Does his chain Scorpion thing have like no range limit?
Oh, it does have a range limit, but it's quite long.
Okay.
And most of the arenas you end up in, you can reach people with your hook, or you can find a way to get close to them. And it's so satisfying to like soak up dozens of hits from them, because he also has a massive health pool.
He would have to, yeah.
Yeah, and then get close enough to them, and then they like dodge back and forth, and then you time your hook, drag them in, shoot them right in the face, and it pops up, killed so and so. You're like, yeah.
I've heard a lot of praise / hate for like there's a cowboy character.
It's Hanoon.
And I hear people are like, I either love him or hate him.
Yeah, I like him. Well, because he's a cowboy, he wears a poncho. That's
You do
just
have
cool.
a love for cowboys.
Oh yeah, he has a 6-shooter, as you might expect, and it's quite good range, a high damage weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But the alternate fire is to unload all the rounds you have left, up to 6 bullets.
Does he not dual wield? Has he only got
No,
one
he's
gun?
just got one.
Oh,
and his alternate fire is fan the hammer, which is just unload every bullet you have loaded in your gun. And if you stumble upon him in a corridor, no matter who you are, you're almost certainly going to die. And his ultimate ability, because each character has an ultimate that charges up as you play the game, as you score kills, just as time passes.
Yep.
And his is called High Noon.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does it, he just has to keep you on his screen for a few seconds until like a little reticule that hovers over you turns into a skull. And then he clicks a button, it doesn't even have to aim at you, and you instantly die.
So it's like a headshot.
Yeah, and that goes for every character that's on his screen.
So if he's got like, how many people are in like the opposing team?
6.
So if he had all 6 of them just on the screen and he activated this ability,
Yes.
he could just,
He goes, will you hear an announcement? He goes, it's high noon. And then,
And then
everybody goes, oh,
out.
fuck, and dives for cover. But anyone who doesn't just gets wiped off the face of the map.
So I can see why people would be like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's somewhat annoying. The most annoying character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of those situations where everybody's quite new to the game and nobody's haven't learned to play yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Bastion, who is a transforming robot.
He's like the guy who turns into a wheel?
No, he turns into a turret with a minigun.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of someone else.
He walks around like a normal combat robot sort of thing.
Like a robot, yeah.
And then when you get into, a nice defensive position, you just sit down and turn into a minigun turret, which is probably the most powerful weapon in the game.
But the downside is you're immobile.
Yeah, you're immobile. And so a sniper or whatever can take you out pretty quickly. But if you see the sniper at the same time they see you and you just hold down your button on them, you will kill them. And so Bastion has proved to be very annoying because he will kill you in like 2 seconds flat.
Oh, really?
At any range.
That seems
as long as he
OP.
can see you. Yeah.
Are there any characters where you're just like, that's fucking bullshit? That's unbalanced.
It's too early to say that.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain characters who seem a lot stronger than others. Bastion's the biggest
for
defender.
example.
Yeah. But otherwise, it seems to be fairly well balanced. There's another character who seems to be very strong in the tank class because there's different characters classes, are divided into different sort of groupings, and one Reinhardt who has a big hammer, which is his melee weapon, and a giant energy shield kind of thing that can defend his whole team if they stand behind it.
Yeah. So sort of like the heavy of Team Fortress 2. The heavy.
Did he have a shield?
No, he was just like really big and people could hide behind him.
Well, this is like you can hide behind him and see through his transparent shield and shoot out of it.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, and he seems to be the strongest tank. But it could just be that people haven't learned to play yet.
Because there's always they'll always devolve into somebody saying, all right, nobody pick this character because they're OP. Yeah. Like in Street Fighter 2 or 3 it was like nobody was allowed to pick Akuma because he was just so OP.
In God tier.
You
can't pick him in tournaments.
There's always like a God tier character.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's like needs to be nerfed, gets nerfed.
Yeah.
Like in Diablo 3, like the monk got nerfed. Like,
oh really? When I was playing,
out of the game.
monk was like shit tier.
Yeah?
I
don't know when you played.
First up, his all resist thing was just bullshit. But yeah, pretty soon after that, he quickly fell behind.
They had to nerf him because there was somebody figured out that he's got an ability that allows to turn you and all of your allies invincible for I can't remember the exact amount, 15 seconds or something.
And you could chain them together?
And you got 4 monks together. You could just chain it together so you're invincible constantly.
Nice.
And that's the first people who finished the game on the hardest difficulty.
Just invincible monks.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they just got the timing down. Yeah. Whereas I'm about to run out of invincibility. Never mind, mines are charged.
Yeah, it's a highly skilled game.
Chained it through. So they got nerfed pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is going to be closely monitored and I'm sure there'll be balance patches.
I wonder if they get all the metrics and so and so seems to just above average kill more people.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have relative win rates and stuff like that. And, this character's winning X% more matches than anybody else, so he needs a nerf. And
because it's spread across the map, you'd be able to get, if you manage to get all the metrics from even some players are obviously just going to be naturally better than other players.
Yeah.
If you just get the metrics of everyone, you'd get a pretty even spread of each character being played by bad people up to really, really good people, really good Twitch gamers.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to average it out percentile-wise, which I think would be... God, I wonder if they could do that. That is very clever if they do that. Just get all the stats and just average them. And then just that one wins 50% of the time. Perfect. Yeah. That one guy seems to win 65% of the time. All right, we need to go look into that character.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really interesting.
I'm sure they can do that sort of stuff. There was a for Dota 2, there was a website called Dota Buff that would use the Steam API to scrape all of those stats out of public games. So you could go, and any member of the public could just go onto this website and see which hero was winning the most public games and things like that.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure...
I'm sure that those
point being, I'm sure
available.
Blizzard can do this sort of thing
available.
behind the scenes with access to the servers and everything.
Now, before we move on to anything else, we need to mention something from last week, I feel.
Oh, yes.
It was last week. The week before last. We got challenged by our guest, Kerry, Astro Kerry, lovely girl, to go to a LARP training session. Her LARP, Shattered World LARP. Mm-hmm. And we went.
Yep.
And is some kerfuffle about us not introducing ourselves to the people who are running the show, which is on us. But we're not going to get into that. But we reviewed them as best we could.
Well, we discussed them.
So
we've reviewed them.
We can't review them because we had no point of reference.
Yeah. But now we do. All other LARPs, you're on notice.
You're fucking on watch. But no. And we released the episode a couple of days ago, as we do, and we shared it onto their Facebook group.
Yes.
And the response has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Several extra views than
usual. No. They were just, everybody was really nice about it. I mean, I don't know if you went on to the Facebook group.
Yeah, I went and saw where you'd posted it, and there was lots of nice comments.
Lots of comments. Like, I'm going, sorry I wasn't there to say hi and all that sort of stuff. And we have received several offers to go back.
Yes.
Most notably by one of the storytellers who has offered us the roles of some NPCs in their July event for us to attend and join in.
I want to be the Resident Evil 4 shopkeeper.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's only got 2 lines as far as I'm aware. He just goes, "What are you buying?" and "What are you selling?"
Why wouldn't you go the Diablo 3? Stay a while and listen.
No, because my Deckard Cane's not that good.
You haven't got a good Deckard Cane?
No.
I could do a decent Deckard Cane.
Go on then.
Stay a while and listen.
Nah.
No? I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah, you need practice.
I don't know if your guy was any good though, because I don't know what he sounds like.
You'll just have to take my word for it.
Was that spot on?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, amazing. Wonderful. What do you reckon though? Would you be interested in doing it? It's not like we have to create armor and stuff and like learn how to fight and all that sort of stuff. It's just...
I don't know. Do we have to like costume up?
We'd have to like wear something. Yeah, we got to get into the biz.
I'd consider it, but it depends on the...
Way to be non-committal there, Russell.
Yeah, well, I'd have to look at my calendar and stuff because
So
they've
busy.
got a set weekend,
Yeah,
of
set
course.
weekend. It's like 2 months away.
Yeah, but my work goes in patches.
All right, well.
So it depends how it lines up.
I feel like
but I'm not against the idea.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're just really trying to go, maybe. And then later on it's like, no, it turns out I'm busy.
Well, I am trying to go maybe because, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Anyway, I'm just trying to pressure you into it.
Okay.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Wow.
I think it would be a great thing to go and do to even just review on the podcast as like an experience.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's all I have to say.
It would be nice to go.
And I got... we've also...
I do know several friends who are going.
That's true.
Including one of the storytellers. So I'm sure it could be one of...
You're well in there.
One of Lionel's NPCs.
And we also got an invitation recently to join in on one of the war bands as well.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was it Kerry's war band?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was James, our friend James, Kerry's boyfriend.
Ah.
I think they're different war bands.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
He's not a orcish cheese merchant?
No, one of the Feminorcs? No, I don't think
No, you can be a male Feminorc. It's fine.
Don't try to pigeonhole me.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But I don't know if Kerry is part of that one.
Right, okay.
But yes, we got invited into the other war
So
band.
same faction, different war band.
Possibly. I can't...
Is it like the
I don't have all the
men
information, Russell.
war band?
Hmm?
Is it the tall bearded men war
Well,
band?
you're out because you're clean shaven
Yeah,
at the
that's
moment.
true.
You fool.
Yeah.
You're
Our
gonna have to go
website
into
is full of lies now.
It's full of wax. You'll grow your beard back eventually. Your chin will get cold in the winter and you will grow your beard back.
It's inevitable that my beard will grow back because I'm too lazy to keep shaving.
It's true. I don't know why you would, every now and then, you're like, I'm sick of having a beard and having a nice-looking face.
Whoa. What were you saying earlier about, building up your friends, not tearing them down?
Yeah. I know, I'm just used to seeing you with a beard, so it's always a bit weird seeing you without a beard.
Yeah, well.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Alright, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to say that another game came out this week that I would really like to play, but I'm stuck in Overwatch, and that is Total Warhammer.
Now, I've seen a couple of videos of this online. Like, one of the channels I follow on YouTube released a couple of Let's Plays of this. And I watched it, and it seemed dreadfully boring.
Well, it takes a certain kind of gamer to appreciate the Total War series.
Because it's all just... Here is a big open field. Arrange your spearmen, longswordsmen, your crossbowmen, and then the spearmen are better against horses, the swordsmen are better against the fucking pikemen or whatever, and then just micromanage these units and fight battles.
Yeah. Well, that is the classic Total War formula, which has carried them through Rome and medieval Europe and shogunate Japan into... Well, it started to go a bit different when they got to the Napoleonic Wars. But this is in the Warhammer universe.
Yes, so big
of the tabletop games. Yeah, it's got like orcs and vampires and dwarves, trolls, ogres,
goblins,
wizards, zombies,
dudes in big suits of armor.
Yeah,
like robotic suits of armor.
Tanks. I think it has tanks.
I don't know.
They do on the tabletop.
I was going to say, you're the one who used to play this game, not me, Russell. You used to spend all of your pocket money as a child buying paint and painting little figurines.
Anime DVDs.
That and anime DVDs, yes.
God, what a waste of money.
It's alright.
It was a bit torrent when I needed it.
Yeah, it's true. Well, back then it would have been Kazaa.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, I don't have sort of the background in Warhammer to get too excited about this. And maybe later, the one I watched, there was just like, the guy played as humans, and there were no, like, nothing magical. It was just like knights.
It's probably in like early
spearmen and
early game before you unlock all the cool stuff.
He had like a dude who cast magic stuff.
Yeah.
Who like cast down hail from the skies to like damage the enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't that interesting. So I didn't really have much time for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if it gets into like everybody's got tanks and giant war machines and there's like enormous demons and stuff and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure it would be more interesting. Yeah,
I imagine you were not looking at the most interesting part of the game.
Possibly not, yes.
But apparently you can like recruit hero characters like that wizard you mentioned. And they get like quest lines and stuff like that. So there's RPG elements come into.
I think there was another Warhammer game come out recently as well. Or it's scheduled to come out. I can't comment.
Dawn of War 3 got
possibly
announced. It's based on the sci-fi Warhammer 40,000 game.
Warhammer 4K, you mean?
40K.
40K?
What did I say? 40,000. Yeah, no,
which is correct. It's just a weird way to say it. Everybody calls it Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never really played any of the games. I've never even played the tabletop game. So it involved a lot of protractors and stuff and rulers.
No, just rulers. Whippy sticks, we used to call them.
Because you used to whip each other with them?
Yeah, they're like thin plastic sticks with inches marked on them, and you just whip each other with them.
This is just you and your brother whipping each other with them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, no, I never got into it. So.
Well, I haven't played it, so I don't have much to say about it, but I was quite excited, so.
On the list, huh?
Yeah.
Waiting for it to go on Steam sale or something?
No, just waiting until I am bored of Overwatch, basically.
Only a matter of time until everybody else gets better than you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, nah, fuck this.
Cheap shit.
Fine, be the Transformer guy, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game anyway. Well, if there's nothing else you have to talk about, we can move on to our book club, if you like.
Well, just one other point of
one other thing.
Possible interest. The D&D Acquisitions Incorporated games, which is where one of the main D&D dudes, DMs for...
Is he like one of the main dudes?
Yeah, Chris Perkins.
Chris
He's
Perkins.
the...
I've only ever known him as the Acquisitions Incorporated DM.
No, he's the story editor for D&D.
Seriously?
He's like one of the title.
One of the big dicks.
Yeah, he's got like writing credits in the most recent books, and he wrote the Curse of Strahd adventure that just came out. Yeah,
I didn't know he had those sort of chops behind him.
Yeah, he's one of the big.
I suppose I shouldn't be.
Cheeses.
I suppose I shouldn't be that surprised, seeing as how in the latest Acquisitions Incorporated he played as Drizzt.
Oh yeah.
So he's got some sort of chops behind him.
Yeah.
What about him? What's going on?
The Acquisitions Incorporated started as a podcast series way back in the day, 2008, I think.
Yes. And I know this because I was looking at it all yesterday, because all of it's been dumped onto YouTube as well.
Right.
Which has slightly spoiled what you're about to say, but go on.
Yeah, it's now on iTunes.
Yes.
Formerly the D&D official podcast is now called Dragon Talk. And they've released a sister podcast called Dungeon Delve, which is going to have all of their like actual play games, including the Acquisitions Incorporated stuff from back in the day, and also the audio of the Penny Arcade Expo games since then.
Yes. Historically, you had to like search for Acquisitions Incorporated .mp3.
Oh god, it was a nightmare.
And then you had to like find this wiki page that led to a link to another page, which had all of the like a file list.
Yeah.
And you had to download it all, and that was the only way you could listen to it.
Oh, what a pain.
It was a real headache.
Thank God they've finally seen the light.
Yes. I'm surprised that Penny Arcade doesn't have a podcast of their own, actually. They probably do.
They're too busy swimming in money.
Yeah, just throwing bunches of $100 bills at each other.
Yeah.
Those guys are fucking rolling in bank. Well done to them. But yeah, I have listened to them all, so I probably won't be going back and listening to them again. But
fair enough.
Only other...
well, don't spoil me.
No, I'm not going to. The only other point of order I have to show about it is that, probably ties in with this, is that they're releasing a series of Acquisitions Incorporated.
How do you mean?
Like a YouTube series, or probably on their own.
Like video series of them playing.
Yep.
Cool.
In like a studio.
That's awesome.
Probably release it on one of their own website. Was it PATV? I think it's called, where they host all their own videos. So it'll probably be on that, because I saw a trailer for it the other day.
Yeah. Is Will Wheaton still?
Will Wheaton's AFL is. Do you know what happened to AFL? Will Wheaton's character
AFL, is he AFK?
He is AFK.
Okay.
Perpetually AFK.
Right. No, I don't. At the moment, he's alive and kicking.
Okay, so you're currently running through this stuff. Are you currently listening to it?
Yeah.
Okay. What bit are you up to, out of curiosity?
They had their first adventure when Will Wheaton wasn't in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm into their second adventure. They went to like a ruined fort and went down the bottom, and there's all these like skull face guys.
Orcus, the Orcus,
yeah. So I'm up to around that bit.
Okay, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, I know. I went all the way back to the start of this feed, and there's like 50 podcasts ahead of me. Do they keep the same? I know they introduce new players later on.
Yes.
Like Patrick Rothfuss plays with them.
Yep. You should be just writing his book. Write your book, Patrick Rothfuss.
Go and find George R. R. Martin and sit down together and have like a writing party.
Yep, just get it sorted out.
Do Jerry and Mike and that keep playing the same characters?
I like your Jerry and Mike and that other guy. Scott Kurtz.
Yeah. Hey, don't give me no sass about forgetting somebody's name, man.
Just webcomics are like one of the few things where I can remember all this stuff.
Okay.
No, they remain true.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to be without Jim Duck Magic or Omen.
Binwin Bronzebottom.
Binwin Bronzebottom, yes.
Yeah.
He was my favourite character, Binwin Bronzebottom. He's by far the best.
So far, they haven't really developed their characters, but I'm a big fan of Jerry.
Jerry Hawkins?
Yeah.
Oh, who? Jim Duck Magic?
No. He's playing Omen.
Omen Drum.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's Tycho from Penny Arcade.
Correct.
He just has a very amusing way of speaking.
Just the way he like takes command of
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's like, we're gonna call this Acquisitions Incorporated, and everybody else is like, I don't know about that. He's like, that's what we're fucking calling it.
Yeah, I'm the CEO.
I'm the CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated. It's like, so do we get paid? He was like, I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. If you want to listen to that, I'm not going to recount it. Go listen to it. It's a good listen.
It is.
But now that we've got that out of the way, we should move on to our book club.
Full pelt ahead.
Full pelt ahead. To a book club which was Stardust.
That's right.
And, alright, so our book club was chosen by you.
Yep.
It
On
was
the theme of books that were turned into movies.
correct. Not the other way around. Not movies that have
not
book
the novelization.
Not the novelization of movies.
Attack of the Clones.
Yes, not going to happen. And it is written by Neil Gaiman, which was a big surprise to me.
Yeah.
Because not exactly his style of jam, the guy who
He's more of a strawberry jam.
Not sort of a marmalade, which is what we're going on here. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, the guy, he wrote, I read a lot of The Sandman, which is his famous thing. American Gods, I've heard of. And
my brother got me the Sandman comics, the first two volumes anyway, for Christmas 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You haven't read them,
I
have
haven't
you?
read them yet.
No, of course you're not.
I've been meaning to.
You mean to read a lot of things that you never do. And you have seen the movie before you read the book.
I saw the movie first.
I have not seen the movie. I had not seen the movie, I should say. So I read the book first. Mm-hmm. So we've got two different perspectives.
Yeah.
And the book is, all in all, let me just have a quick look here, 196 pages long.
Yeah.
It is a very short book.
Yeah.
I
read it on the Kindle, so I wasn't really sure how long it was, but it definitely wasn't a long book.
It's not a long book. I read this in about an hour and a half. All up.
Wow.
And it didn't even really suck me in that much. I polished off The Martian in 2 days. Mm-hmm. Not a solid reading. It just took me 2 days to finish it because it really sucked me in.
Yeah.
And I just tore through it. And this, I was like, read. Oh, God, how far am I through? About a quarter of the way through. All right, I'll keep going. I basically just read it in one session.
Yeah.
Of sitting down and reading it. Because I left it until yesterday to take care of.
Nice.
So I had to polish through it. And it's not a bad book. I feel like it can't make up its mind about what it wants to be.
Yeah, it had a strange pacing and a strange tone because it's like a fairy tale kind of.
It is. It reads it hits a lot of points where it should be oh, this is a book for kids.
Yeah.
And then it'll be
the star falls out of the sky
and it's
fuck.
Oh, fuck, that really hurt.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the opening couple of chapters is 2 pages of just gratuitous fucking between the dad.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
the fairy woman.
Yeah.
Of the main character.
Yeah.
And then later on he'll be oh man, I really want to fuck you.
Yeah.
So I was man, pick a theme.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman. Is this a kid's book or isn't it? Because it reads a lot of the plot points are really hackneyed in this.
Well, they're well-worn tropes.
They're well-worn tropes, yes. They read they're out of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
The guy will go into the fairy world and then will just be run into someone who happens to be the same guy that his dad helped.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And he'll be all right, you stay here. And then he'll come back and he'll give him all of the stuff he needs to complete his quest.
Yeah.
And then off you go complete your quest. He's oh, thanks. Off I go.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I'm talking a lot. What did you think about the book?
Well, we covered the weird tone. I thought the book was all right. We covered the strange tone. The strange pacing, when he gets to Fairy, we're going to spoil this book.
Oh, we're gonna, yeah, obviously, yeah.
He gets to Fairy, and then he meets this little hairy man, and they hang out for fucking ages.
It's a quarter of the book.
Yeah. And I'm okay, yeah, fair enough. And then later on, they meet some sky pirates.
Yep.
And they're with them for a page.
Correct, yes.
And having seen the movie before, I had a different expectation because that's a major part of the movie.
That really surprised me.
Yeah.
That whole segment.
And so that was really weird. And then
just we're on the clouds now, and then just some pirates come along and pick us up.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, off you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We've taken to your next plot point.
And, aside, we haven't even talked about anything yet.
Should we just, start from the beginning?
Well, the basic gist of the plot is that Tristan Thorne is a young man in the village of Wall.
Correct.
And in the village of Wall, there is basically a portal to the fairy world.
Yes.
And Tristan goes there in order to bring back a fallen star for his one true love.
Yes. Who could not be more disinterested in
him. Yeah, no, she is a flippant young lady.
I think the girl in the book was a much nicer person.
Oh yeah, she's definitely way more sympathetic.
She is a fucking bitch in the movie.
Yeah,
but in the book, she's really nice.
Yeah.
You know.
And then when he gets back, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't really expect you to go."
I'm like, "You fucked off. I thought I killed you.
Yeah.
I thought I sent you to your death.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna go home and cry it off."
Yeah.
And yeah. But as in the movie, she's like, "Oh, give me that. Oh, what's this piece of shit? Fuck off."
So the reason that the star has fallen out of the sky is because the king of Stormhold in the fairy kingdom has thrown out his badge of office, basically, into the sky.
Like his royal jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it hits the star and knocks her out of the sky. Yes. And he charges his few living remaining sons to retrieve the jewel, and whoever does will become the next king.
Yes.
The star is also of interest to some witches, who are the real villains of the piece.
Correct.
They want to cut out her heart in order to regain their youth.
It's like youth and power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their magic is charged by the star power as well.
Yes. And also they've been around since before time began. Basically.
Yeah. They're
they're super ancient.
Old evil crones.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, back to my issues with the pacing. There's this whole plotline of the brothers trying to get the jewel back and backstabbing each other. There's Septimus, who's kind of
the naming of the brothers was great.
Yeah.
It's like there's 7 brothers, and it's like Primus, Secundus, Tertius.
Yeah.
They're just Quadius numerical. And stuff. Yeah. Septimus.
Laziest
Sextius.
Parents ever. Yeah. Anyway, so Septimus manages to eliminate most of his other rivals.
Well, they've all the siblings have killed off at least one other sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of them, Septimus, I think, killed off 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the lead witch, whose name I forget.
No, don't look at
me. Has killed his last remaining brother, which means that he has to avenge him by killing the witch.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird rules. It was like, if I had killed my brother, I could have just left your corpse to rot.
but now I have to avenge you.
Now I have to avenge you. Yeah.
And then when he goes to take her out, he tries to set fire to her house, and she's like, "Oh, I'm having none of that. You're dead." And then he's dead.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And then when she finally catches up to the star, she's like, "It's not worth the trouble anymore." And then just starts crying and wanders off.
I think you're being a little bit harsh there, because you've skipped over quite a few bits.
Oh yeah, I have.
The star runs into the witch.
Yes.
She turns her chariot into an inn.
Yeah, she sets up a fake inn.
Yeah.
In order to
woo her in and sort of make her happy so that her heart will glow, and then she gets more power out of her. And then Primus, the good brother, if there is such a thing, goes
relatively
good compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Goes in and is like, "Holy shit, that's the thing I'm looking for."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, finally, fucking have it, get out of here." And then he is the smarter of the brothers, the more well-educated one. He's the oldest.
Yeah.
Obviously. And he sees the witch with her knives to one of which is a hatchet to crack the chest plate open, the other one is to cut the heart out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Holy shit, I know what those are." And she's like, "Whoop, you're dead." And the witch kills her.
Yeah.
Kills him. And then that is and then they all escape and all that sort of stuff. But later on, the reason why she's like, "Oh, well, now I'm just not going to bother," is because at that point, spoiler alert, the star has fallen in love with the protagonist, so she's sort of given her heart to him.
That's right.
So she's like, well, I can't take it now. It's of no use to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and deal with my siblings. And the star's like, well, tough shit for you, bitch.
Yeah. So that both those things kind of felt weird to me because I had seen the movie.
Yes.
Which, spoilers,
completely different.
I really love that movie. I've seen it several times. And at the end of that, there is a big climactic
fight scene.
Yeah. That you might expect from a more traditional sort of story.
Yes.
Where, Septimus is there and the witches they're all battling each other and then...
No, they're not. The witches are, they're all eager to, fucking get this girl's heart out. They're not fighting
I
each
don't
other.
mean they're battling each other.
Oh,
I mean...
okay. They're all battling Septimus and
Tristan. Yeah.
Here's the thing. We're going to skip over to the movie very briefly for this bit.
Sure.
Is that outside Tristan and Septimus sort of meet up and they both want to get in for a different reason. He wants to get the star and Septimus wants to get the jewel around the star's neck.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, so we're going to team up. And Tristan's like, I don't fucking trust you. And he's like, too bad, you don't have a fucking choice in the matter.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so just follow my lead and we'll be all right. And then Septimus goes in, takes out one of the witches. Mm-hmm. All the meantime, Tristan is just sort of hiding in a corner. He doesn't do anything. He's like, follow my lead. If we take him on together, we'll be fine.
But he doesn't trust him.
And he doesn't trust him, but he doesn't do anything. It's in his best interest to help him to get the girl. And then Septimus dies.
Yeah, but then you have that great bit where he's being puppeteered.
Yes, that was very good. And by that, I mean extraordinarily silly.
The whole movie was silly. It had a cross-dressing Robert De Niro.
It did have a cross-dressing Robert De Niro. Anyway, so I read the book, and it wasn't the best book I've ever read because of its previous mentioned pacing issues and couldn't decide what it wanted to be.
It was really short.
It was extraordinarily short and sort of hackneyed plot points and all that sort of stuff. But I read it, and I was like, this book is so simple. There is zero ways they could fuck this up when they turned it into a movie. You could just take this book as the script and shoot it shot for shot, and it would be fine. But no, they made the movie and they changed 90% of the things in the book.
Yeah, the sort of the very start and the very end are the same, but everything in the middle is all shuffled around.
Absolutely, yeah. Not even.
Not and even. It still has some of the scenes
they get things get referenced, but it's never directly out of the book.
Well, the witch, I wish I could remember her name.
Not important.
Is Michelle Pfeiffer in the movie?
Yes.
She enchants the other witch, Dishwater Sal, so that she's not able to see the star.
Yes.
And Sal enchants Tristan into a mouse, and so all that's the same. And they go to the inn that's been made out of the chariot. Yeah.
They hit a lot of the same plot points.
Yeah.
But everything is subtly changed. You know? The part where she can't see Tristan and... can't see the star. Dishwasher Sal can't see the star.
Yvain, that's her name.
Yvain, whatever.
Not the witch, the star.
The star. Yeah. They can't see each other. That was extraordinarily well filmed, where she's trying to hit Dishwasher Sal to save Tristan, and she can't touch her because of the curse and all that sort of stuff. That was all fine, but even the ending of the movie is completely different to what's in the book.
Well, they end up. Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
because in the book they go off and have
further adventures. Yeah, everything has changed. And it's turned into a much sillier romp than in the book. I prefer the book, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because, I don't know, it's better. I mean,
objectively,
yeah, it's better. I loved the ending in the book way more than I did the ending in the movie. Because the ending in the movie is just so Hollywood. It's just we're going to have this big battle. And then at the end, everybody's going to be happy. And
except the mean old witch.
Except the mean old witch who's going to be killed.
Yeah.
And then, you get crowned as king and queen of the entire kingdom. Everybody's happy at the end.
Yeah.
Whereas the ending of the book is much more melancholy. The ending of the book is... Tristan's mother turns out to be one of the siblings of the Tertius, and she's called Una or something.
She's the elder sister.
She's the eldest, yeah. She's called Una, which is another word for one, shockingly enough, following the theme. Anyway, she goes and, like, she's like, all right, so you are the last surviving male heir.
Yeah.
You're the king. You can do whatever, you marry whoever you want. Let's go. And he's like, nah.
Nah, I'm going to have adventures.
He's like, you go hop on the horse and carriage or whatever. Me and the star, we're just going to go walk and we're going to take our own pace. She's not happy. His mum's not happy about it, but she's like, whatever. And then, like, 6 months later, they show up to the place and they're like, should we go in? And they're like, there's a lot more stuff I want to do. They're like, all right, let's fuck off. And then they fuck off and go have more adventures and, like, save the world a couple more times for, like, another bunch of years.
Yeah, my issue with that is what you've just said is literally the text in the book. Like, you don't find out anything about these adventures.
Well, it's 196 pages long.
No, I know. I would have liked... If they're going to have adventures, then why not tell me about it?
It could be a second book.
Well, there isn't.
There isn't. There could be.
There could be.
But then the actual ending is, like, after the 5 years, they come back and they're like, to the horror of the kingdom, they get treated like beggars and, like, paupers because they're just there in, like, ratted, tatty clothes and stuff like that. And then they're like, whatever, we'll be king and queen now. And the star's like, well, I don't know, I can't, I'm a star, so odds are we can't have children ever again. Ever. It's just not a thing I can do. You're half fairy, half human, I'm a star. It's just not going to happen. And he's like, I love you anyway, don't worry about it. And then they
sounds like I'm going to have loads of mistresses on the side.
But then they rule for like 60 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it turns out that stars are essentially immortal.
Yeah.
So...
Well, they live for billions of years.
It's true. But then, like, Tristan dies.
Yeah.
And then, like, then she just prosperously rules the kingdom fairly for, like, forever.
Yeah.
Because she's a star and she's eternal, you know? And then that's, like, the ending of the book. She's just alone, ruling the kingdom quite well, but she misses her husband. Yeah. And she goes up to the tallest room in the highest tower, which has no roof. Mm-hmm. And, like, she just sits there and, like, looks longingly at the stars, and that's the end of the book.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a much nicer ending.
Yeah, it's a good ending.
It was a much better ending. Probably not nicer. It ends on a bit of a melancholy note.
It's not nicer. The ending in the movie was, like, the nicest possible ending.
Everybody's happily ever after.
Except for the mean people.
Yeah. But I felt like the ending in the book much closely tied into, like, fairy tales than it did with the movie, which was more like Hollywood action.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose I like Hollywood action more than I like fairy tales.
Fair enough. I just thought it was different. It was a different ending. It's like than what you would expect, which I felt like added a certain flavour to it.
Well, one thing you might be curious to know about the movie, well, I was curious to know anyway, is that it was directed by, is it Matthew Vaughn, I think?
You ask me these questions like I know who these people are.
I'm asking myself.
Okay, you're looking at me when you ask them.
Where else am I going to look?
I don't know.
Anyway, he was also the director of Kick-Ass and of Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so he has a pretty good hit rate in my book.
Mm.
And also Mark Strong, who's one of my favourite actors. He was Septimus in this. He was also in those two movies. He was a bad guy in Kick-Ass.
And he was too, wasn't he?
He was Merlin in Kingsman.
Yes. I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah.
I couldn't place him, though, because he had, like, long, greasy hair.
Oh, yeah. Usually he's bald.
But, yeah, what was I going to say? It was just, it had a lot of odd points, the movie, I feel, that it didn't need to have. Like, it just had... It had, what's his face? The guy, the British, from
Ricky
the British
Gervais?
Office. It had Ricky Gervais in it. For no apparent reason.
Yeah, because that's hilarious.
Because he was funny. And the whole pirate captain being a major plot point was just nowhere in the book. And it was just...
I feel like this
just looked like it was really thrown in for, like, comedy effect. To make fun of cross-dressers.
You know, I didn't think it was to make fun of them.
Oh, it's a major comedy point.
Well, like, yeah. But then everyone's accepting of it.
In the end, yeah. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I think this might be. You know how we talk about seeing how it is coming from different sides. When one's read the book and one's watched the movie first.
Yeah.
I think that's what is happening.
You think that's what's happening?
Because I've seen the movie several times before I read the book, and then this stuff happened in the book that didn't happen in the movie. I'm like, nah, I like the movie stuff better. And it seems like you might be having the same sort of thing.
Seems like all my problems with the movie is that it's too different from the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. We're solving myths
this is
here.
like science in action.
Anyway. Well, there we go.
Do we normally review things? Do we whack a score on these
I don't
things
remember
in book
what
club?
we did with The Martian, which is our previous book club. But I don't think we need to put a score on this. I think we just liked what we liked.
Yeah, well, I think the movie's really good and the book is pretty good.
And I think the book is pretty good and the movie was not very good.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Did you have something in mind for next month's book?
No, I do not. Because I have yet to look up a list of books that have been turned into movies.
All right, well, let's revisit this when we remember to.
Yeah, I'll try to do it next week.
Instead, shall we have a forced review?
Yes. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to force you to review Role Models because of our recent connections to the LARPing community.
Oh, is that the Paul Rudd one?
Yes.
Right.
I think you'll find it very amusing.
This is going to become a LARP podcast before too long, isn't it?
Well, we found out that the community really enjoys it when people talk about them.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But yeah, no, you can review that for next week.
Okay. I will put it on my to-do list.
Good. Other than that, if you've enjoyed this podcast, you can go to our website on which Russell posts very amusing links and anecdotes and stuff. I don't really know how to describe.
What are you talking about?
I don't know how to describe. It's never really like stuff that's directly related to this.
Oh, it's like
always
tangentially
just like
related.
tangentially related to it. That's the word I'm looking for.
I try and work in funny YouTube videos when I can.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I enjoy looking at it every week. So if nobody else gets a gander at it, I usually have
There's one view.
One
It
view.
makes it all worthwhile.
On our website, which is popculturepon.weebly.com. One day we're going to have to just bite the bullet and turn that into popculturepon.com,
Now, we haven't got that, proper domain money.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What, like $4 a month or whatever it is? You can also email us something you want us to review or a book you want us to review. For
Just vitriol, hate speech.
Yeah. If I've upset you by saying that the movie Stardust was pretty average, then feel free to let me know about it.
Don't worry, I will.
That email address is popculturepon@gmail.com.
You can also contact us through social media. On Twitter, we are at popculturepon. And on Facebook, you can find us by typing in the URL www.facebook.com/popculturepon.
That was really laboured. I don't know why you put in all the www.
Well, maybe people have been wanting to,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
not understanding
Can't
how
figure out
Facebook works.
Facebook.com
Yeah.
/popculturepon. Fair enough. Other than that, if you've enjoyed this, you can feel free to come back next week for another episode of Popculture Pontification. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No complaints.
Yeah, we had a nice meal.
We did.
You got to play Doom,
Mm-hmm.
and we reviewed a book.
I had an uncomfortable time in the bathroom.
You had a big poop in the bathroom, yep.
Possibly not related to the nice meal.
It would be very quick acting if it was. It was like half an hour later.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, maybe I undercooked that chicken, but I don't know if it'll hit you that fast.
Yeah, it could be to do with all of the food I ate at the morning tea today.
It's like I knew I shouldn't have eaten that mouldy slop that Maureen brought in.
Hey, don't knock the moldy slop.